Hey everybody, your old pal WTR here with a look at the X Men Origins comic series Wolverine. This is the tan and brown outfit, which he sported, well, I guess for the entirety of the 80s pretty much. It also happens to be my favorite of Wolverine's costumes. I do like the traditional yellow and blue, which actually was his first costume choice. But I like this one better because it's more stealthy and so forth, and it does blend in better with the natural environment. The orange and yellow really mashes better with the team when he's with a group. For people who like this costume as well and are fans of the 3 3/4 line, you do have one other choice available. There is also a Wolverine that's packed with the 2-pack Secret Wars. It was with the Wave 1 that comes with the... a Human Torch. However, that sculpt is based on the Wave 1 X Factor Wolverine. And the ones that I've seen all have like this funky paint thing on the top where the black parts, or the darker portions, go much further along the bridge of the nose, so the nose just looks like they attached like a dot of brown. Plus, it looks kind of like he has a beer gut with the with that other sculpt, which I never really got behind either. It's probably just something, like, for some reason the waist looks a bit wider, but if people have seen it, they'll have some idea of what I'm talking about. Other people might still think I'm crazy, but in general, I've seen a bunch of these guys around, so I had a pick of my paint defects. I finally decided to go with the other figure that, unfortunately, if I'd bought this sooner, I guess I'd have a better selection, but this one has some brown along the upper part of the mask. Actually, this is the one that's got the brown on the upper part of the mask. I actually bought a second one because I got a coupon at Kohl's, and I figured I'd use it to buy a figure, then just return the figure I bought from Toys R Us the other day because I hadn't opened it yet. But, this one's the one that has, like, this one stick of plastic jutting out from the chin, which looked kind of funky. I was debating on whether to just, like, shave that off or something, but I was worried that it would chip the paint. I guess you can't really see it a ton, but it is there. Yeah. Of course, the swords were all bent in all of them. Except for, actually, I did see one figure that didn't have the sword bent, but instead the mask was bent, which is, like, so freaking stupid. I do want to pick up the Gambit at some point, and the other ones I do want to pick up from this wave, because they haven't really done another version of it. It's the traditional comic version of Colossus for his costume. But, I've spent about 3 minutes just talking about the package, so let's just, open it up. By the way, one of the, big differences between the Origins line Wolverines and the Marvel Universe line Wolverines are that they make the claws out of one piece of solid plastic, then they paint, like, a divide between them for the Origin series. Because, as you're probably aware, when these plastic things are just in a package, they do have a tendency to bend when they're really thin plastic. I don't know if it's just the weather or just like when it's getting tossed around or so forth, but because they have it all out of one solid piece, these won't bend and they'll be perfectly, like, parallel to each other and so forth, which you typically won't see with the Marvel Universe line and so forth, but it's a preference thing. The other big thing is this does use this really crappy leg joints that they use in some of the taller Marvel Legends figures, but it's not a big issue. You have to kind of, like, stick your nail into the joint here, then twist the part around here to get it to line up so it'll stand up properly. Or you could push this all the way up here so you could kick straight forward instead of doing this stupid looking crescent kick. But other than that, I love the paint job in this guy. It's a decent looking paint work. As mentioned, the 2-pack versions kind of use more of a pastel paint, so it doesn't have the same gloss that this version has. But, quick size comparison. It's not going to stand up pretty well because I haven't fixed both joints Shoot, I'm gonna have to just hold him like this. But, here's a Hand Ninja from the Marvel Universe line. Taller. Also a kick-ass looking confrontation. Oops. You'll probably buy a whole bunch of Hand Ninja at some point, but... And here's him standing next to Cyclops from the Secret Wars set. As you can see, Cyclops is quite a bit taller. Which is good because Wolverine is only a 5'2" or 5'3" tall character. He's the shortest X-Men in most continuities. Actually, let me quickly just pull a ruler out. 1 second. Yeah, I usually check up the height because, well, I guess it makes more of a difference for the Legend series, but in terms of centimeters, not inches, the figure is 9.5 centimeters tall. And 10 centimeters if you're measuring up to the tip of the mask. All in all, decent looking figure. Articulation wise, he has a wrist that moves. I can't really demonstrate too well, but he'll do a full 360 rotation. He's got a, I guess I'll call it a recessed peg joint for the arm here, but you'll see it on a lot of their other ones, which gives you a lot of better range of motion than you typically would get from, I don't know, I guess movable bicep and a double jointed elbow, but it will impede the amount of distance it can go forward and back because of the amount of muscles on his bicep there. Which actually is a pretty nice looking bicep in terms of muscular sculpt. Just your typical shoulder. Do the usual range of motion. Head will do everything that heads will do. It doesn't go up and down though. That's the one problem. It seems to just rotate. I don't want to break him, but take my word for it. He comes with a red sword. Normally the sword for the other figures is just a normal metallic looking one. I'm not sure if that's supposed to represent his pseudo magic sword that blocks the regeneration ability of other mutants, but no waist joint, but he has a upper torso joint. It'll go back, forward, then of course a full 360 all around. Leg, as mentioned, is that kind of chintzy type where it will kind of go up at an angle because it's got this thing right here, and then you can twist this part around just to get the poses you want, but kind of a pain. Double jointed knee, and like the elbow, it's sort of a recessed peg joint on the foot where it'll turn around, then it'll go forward and back. All in all, I do like this figure. I'll probably buy a few more in the 3 3/4 scale. I'm not a real huge 3 3/4 fan, but they do have their uses. Like, for instance, during a sentinel attack, makes the sentinel look so much more massive. Nice try, Wolverine. And of course, for Apocalypse, it'll make him look bigger, and it'll also work for just any general figure that I want to make look huge. All in all, very nice figure. I probably would recommend this version over the 2-pack version, but you have to pick your poison in terms of what you lose in terms of articulation and whether or not you like the claws. And the leg joint, of course, would be the other major issue of contention, because I believe the leg joint is different on the other one. I don't really remember offhand, but yeah, until next time, folks, when hopefully I do have something to replace this backdrop.